Well, hey YouTube, it's Elvis Ammo here. Hey, today we're going to shoot a little 300 blackout. So we're going to shoot the 300 blackout. I got my scope back that tore up on me. Vortex replaced it for me for free. I appreciate that very much. Today we are going to be shooting my new Arsenal mold, and we're going to be shooting it with 300 blackout. Try to get this focused in. That's my new Arsenal mold. If you guys haven't seen my last video with this same bullet, shooting it out of my AKM or AK-47 in the 7.62 by 39, it's the same bullet. So for you guys that wanted to see, you know, a 300 blackout, it's a rainy day today, and I really was just trying to squeeze it in, you know, to get a good, you know, to get some data, some groups shot today. And with my new mold, I've been chomping at the bit. I've been real busy, so I've been chomping at the bit. I'm like, okay, that thing does awesome in my AK, and I'm very excited to shoot this thing with my 300 blackout. So I went ahead and I shot a few powders today, and I shot a few groups today, and I got some footage of some groups that I shot, and I'm really not going to deem them the end game here, but they were pretty darn good and very easy to acquire using this bullet. So let's I'm going to tell you what I'm shooting. I'm shooting the Arsenal mold, and this is the 300 blackout bullets, all loaded up right there. And just let you take a look at one up close. That's what it looks like right there. That's it. The overall length is 1.990. This one is actually 1.994. Good enough. Alright, so overall length 1.990, and the powder charge that I'm using in the groups that you're going to see is shot with IMR 4198. It's the same powder that give me some really nice groups in my AK, which I'm not done with yet, by the way. I'll also give you a little bit of information on the IMR 4227 and the CFE BLK. So for now, let's go out and shoot some groups, and we'll talk about the groups. All right. So you guys can get a good laugh out of my my makeshift experimental targets if you want to. Go ahead and laugh at that. It's some kind of a tinfoil and saran wrap or plastic or something over the top of that, painted. Anyway, enough of that. And so it does do some nice shoot and see holes there. Now this was 17.5 grains of my IMR 4198. By the way, these were just targets, experimental targets sitting around collecting dust, and I just pulling something out real quick. 17.5 grains of IMR 4198 worked for us great. Again, the IMR 4198 did. This is a 1.246 group, so that's just barely under 1.25 inch group. So that's real good. But in some of my testing that I was doing, prior to shooting these groups, I knew I could do a little bit better than that. So what I done was, in the second group, is I just switched brass. Is all I done. I went from I think I was using Barnes brass here. I was using some of this Barnes brass, and then in the following group I shot was this PSD. So in other words, I knew that I knew that I was on it, as far as getting some good groups if I needed to. I just needed some tuning, some fine tuning. Sometimes it can mean something as little as changing your brass, or 1/10 of a grain difference in powder, or a tiny bit of overall length, shorter, longer kind of thing. So I knew I was on it, so I just done that, and there it was. I shot this group 0.948, which is under 1 inch, and I'm pretty sure I could do better than that. I was doing this work just between rain, be honest with you. I knew I didn't have much time, and I knew whatever time I had when the rain stopped was just going to be a short period of time. And I was anxious to get some of this done and get some of this information out to you guys, because a lot of you knew that I had this mold and wanted to see what it looked like in the 300 blackout. So that's why I did that. We may be able to, even do better than this, So anyway, I'm going to try some different powders, some more powders, some, do some different things. But this, so far, this mold has been, incredibly easy to load for. It really has. It's one of those easy loader bullets. So, so then, like for instance, sometimes when I'm testing ammo out, I'll shoot, I'll just make up a couple, fire a couple, make up a few more, and that's kind of how I do it sometimes. This was the initial test that says, that said to me, that's now you're on something you can work with, and you've seen that, in that group. Obviously, you could see the bullet holes going through one area there. So that's 3 bullet holes inside that one spot. So we knew we were on it. So that's kind of that's all about that. So I did do a little bit of other testing as well. But I didn't have much time, so as soon as something started looking sloppy, and it looked like it was going to be difficult, hard to come by. I just quit immediately and moved on. And that was with the CFE Black again, with my cast bullets. You know, I was kind of hoping, you know, that with some of the low pressures and high velocities that would work real good with our cast bullets. And so far it's really not been panning out for me, and I have a few pounds of it. And let's see, and then the IMR 4227, I tried that as well, just real quickly. I did. And you know, I got just real quick out of this, I got, you know, under 1.5 inch group with it. So this is definitely a contender, I would say, for sure. But then I immediately see there's not a ton of data for what we do with cast bullets, powder coated cast bullets, for you know, with the powder coated bullets. You know, as you know, I run them up, you know, pretty close to, you know, Full Metal Jacket data, and the IMR 4198 is not really in the running, you know, when it comes to you know, full power load, so to speak. So I just used my data that the information that I've already accumulated, you know, from shooting my 160 grain bullets with the 4198, and I was getting 1724 feet per second. Now with this 145 grain bullet that we shot today, you know, I gained an extra 100 feet per second. So what was it? Was it? Oh darn. Yeah, 1725 is what I got out of my 160 grain lead mold bullet, and with this one it's 1824, 99 feet per second. So I'm still just really stoked with this mold. Now what can I tell you about it? As far as feeding, I really just want this to be a quick video. I wanted to get this information out to you guys for people who are interested in buying the mold, shooting the bullet kind of thing. So, and not to mention, the real reason is I was just personally anxious to shoot this bullet. That's really the real reason. And now I'm just sharing, right? But for those of you who want to use this bullet, the bullet itself is designed for 7.62 by 39 and the 300 blackout. Okay, this was one of the Elvis creations that Arsenal helped me out with. So one of the things that I noticed, obviously in the AK this thing shot wonderful. I had plenty of large freebore to go around for sizing this thing to 310 or 311 or whatever I wanted. In this one, my 309 sizer tends to size these bullets to 308. Well, that's what I said. Okay, that's not the, yeah, I can't use that bullet. I can use this bullet. There it is, right there. I was about to show you the dimensions of a 7.62 by 39. This thing is sizing, my 309 sizer is sizing to 308. Alright, for some reason or another, right? But that's fine. It is working perfect, as you see today. And the amount of contact that this has in the bore is probably around 55-60%. not 55, 60%. I meant about 45%. About 45% of this bullet is of the dimension that's making contact in your barrel. Okay, so with that said, it's fitting snug in my chamber. Okay, now this bullet drops right in my chamber of my 300 blackout, and sometimes it'll fall back out, sometimes it won't, but there's it's not stuck, in other words. Sometimes this subject gets people kind of all up in arms that it has to, be, whistle clean in and out, which that's what it should be, I suppose. But these with the powder coating on there, it don't jam in. It just I mean, all you have to do is bump the rifle and it'll fall out. Okay, so my whole point is, let me get to that. My whole point is the bullet above, in front of the crimp groove, this line right here is 309, the dimension. All right, that's how it's made. So for me, this thing is working perfectly in my rifle. I have a hardened arms. It's a 5R rifling, and it fits perfectly in there, nice and well, it's just nice and snug. It fits good. It fits perfect. It's really a perfect fit. Is really the only way I could put it. But if any of you are worried about one of the reasons I'm bringing this up is because somebody had mentioned in the comment section when they seen the dimensions of the bullet on the Arsenal Mold website that it was 309, just a short piece above the crimp groove, and that was a concern. If it is a concern for you, you can certainly, when you order your mold, you can certainly have them make everything in front of the crimp groove 307 or 308, if that's a concern for you. I just wanted to throw that out. If it's a concern that you have, you don't have the room inside your chamber like I do. I know all of our rifles are a little bit different. I just wanted to throw that out, not make a long thing out of it. But so if you are concerned that 309 for a little ways past the first crimp groove, then just have them make it 308 or 307 for you in front of the crimp groove. They'll do that for you, believe it or not. So anyway, very impressed with this bullet. Very impressed with this mold. I've already done 2 castings since I've had it because I anticipate that I'll be shooting it a lot. So just for your information. So that's really all I have. I tried the CFE Black, I tried the 4227, the IMR 4198 just seems to be nailing it. And as far as fine tuning goes, just like you see in these groups, it can just come down to something as simple as your brass. And that was kind of the point in changing and doing another group, because I already knew I was there, and that group wasn't as impressive as I knew it would do, the first group. So I just changed the brass, and I just thought we would see how that worked out. So anyway, YouTube, 300 blackout, new Arsenal mold, and got to see some groups, and it's just a very impressive thing. Just a very impressive bullet. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will certainly I wanted to skip off of the AK-47 or the AKM for just a minute because I wanted to shoot this 300 blackout, bring you some information, and now we're going back to the AK, and I'm going to do some of the things that I said I was going to do. And if you haven't seen the video, you should watch it. It's the same bullet. Pretty impressive. I'll see you guys in the next video.